back to Bold and Body. You are listening to your boy Wesley, and I'm here with my co-host and a guest.
Woo!
Yeah, we're excited.
Sorry.
This is our first guest for Bold and Body.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And her name is
Welcome.
Sophia, but I'll let you
Introduce herself.
Yeah.
Hola, everyone. This is Sophia.
How she sound.
Hey, it's Maddie. I feel like I have to do that over because she's sounding mad seductive. She gave a straight girl 6
I was
action.
like, oh, whoa.
You're like, wait, I want to be in that mood.
Yeah, remember,
fire,
when
fire.
you would drive and then your mom would put Hola,
The quiet
93.1 Amor. Remember
Oh,
that?
the station voice. That's that radio station voice.
I'm thinking the quiet storm. That didn't come
Wait.
until 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Yo, kids were still in the back.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was in the middle of the day. It
I was like,
just
Mom,
the
middle of the day.
station. Yeah.
And she was so seductive. I'm like,
But it would be just regular music. It wasn't even anything crazy. It was
all the love, all the loving.
Makes sense now.
And Lena D in the house.
That's
of
Lena
course.
D. And we are here. We are going to discuss the episode. Wow. We're going to discuss the rise of online dating and real life to start from finish. Is that even really a thing anymore? Do we really date in real life? Sophia, have you been dating in real life? You met somebody in real life?
I think the last time I met someone in real life was back in 2008,
My word.
right?
2008.
That was like pre Bumble.
That was pre-Tinder for
pre
sure.
Tinder.
That's pre
Yeah.
everything.
So just now am I getting back into the game? And I mean by the dating life, mobile apps, dating apps. But I'm trying to do a hybrid approach. So
Hybrid approach.
Okay.
Ooh, what does that mean?
All right.
for me, it means, dating or meeting people that you would not meet on a day-to-day basis. And Bumble would be kind of like a gateway to that. So, introduce myself. I'd like for that experience to just be short. And what I mean is that I'm not looking for a pen pal where I'll be texting days after days or hours after hours. If there's an immediate connection, how are you? I would like to do a quick FaceTime, or do you have WhatsApp? If you have an Android, boo for Androids.
Who still has Androids?
Yeah, who has
It's just
Androids?
they're just not cool.
They're just not cool.
But they have bomb cameras. I'm not going to front. Go ahead.
So hence the WhatsApp, right? Or whatever it is, just hop on a call just to at least hear their voice. And if there is a connection, then say, I would like the guy to at least initiate. I made the first move in Bumble, so the guy should say, hey, look, can we go for coffee, or whatever it is. But I never go and drink on a first date or a first encounter in that case.
That's
I
a
dig
good
it.
rule.
So
I like that
yeah.
rule.
I dig
Or I
it,
try
'cause people
not
are
to. I
crazy.
try not to.
Okay.
So that's what I mean by hybrid.
Okay.
Trying to mix the new school with the old school approach.
Got it.
And we
Right,
are
got it.
definitely about to talk old school because you just said 2008 and we all said before Tinder, as if that is now the defining point of time and space.
Tinder's a game changer.
Word.
Tinder's a game
Just
changer.
like, wait, there was life before Tinder? Yes. So for our
Tinder's
our
a game changer, though.
listeners that didn't know how old we are, you about to find out.
Yeah, you about to find out how. We about to show our age.
We're about to sound
So-
ancient to some people.
I don't know if you guys remember the commercials that used to come out for Match.com.
Oh yeah.
This launched back in 1995.
Oh man.
Okay, this was, I think this
great
is
for-
I
the
don't miss
great
those
great
days.
grandfather of online dating. 1995.
Check it out. In 1995, just to give y'all some history on the year 1995, this is when OJ was on trial. This
Whoa.
is, I know that sounds really crazy.
That sounds so.
That is old.
This is before
1995.
my brother was born.
Yeah, 1995.
Wow.
Did you guys know that of
all
all places? Do you know where Match is headquartered right now?
Where?
Where?
Dallas, Texas.
Oh, really?
One
Really?
of those, conservative states. It's headquartered in Dallas.
Did not know
I
that.
didn't know that.
Match, yeah.
They-
And then
they-
I think Match acquired Tinder. Is that correct?
They acquired Tinder?
I believe
I don't
so.
think
No.
Oh.
No?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let me.
Maybe there
Yeah,
was
you
another
look
online
into that.
app.
I should not misspeak.
Oh, we do that all the time. That's why we got laptops. Because I know I'll be Googling the mess out of everything that I say.
We fact check ourselves at all times.
Exactly. We put Politico out of work. Like, you don't need to fact check us. So while you're looking that up, next up, this isn't officially an online dating platform, but I feel like it deserves an honorable mention.
Oh yes.
AOL and AIM
Yes.
came out in 97.
Yes, that was my jam.
So do you guys remember like getting into the chat rooms and being like ASL? For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, that was age, sex, location. What up? Age, sex, location. So it'd be A/S/L question mark. Like there was no, so that was our version of like WID, what you doing? We started that. For all you youngins out there thinking that y'all started this, we are the trendsetters. Just chill. This is me being old.
I just remember all the ass whooping I used to get for staying up too long online and hogging up the phone line.
Yeah, the AOL.
The broadband didn't exist back then. We had to use the phone line, and it was 56K. And it used to make this screeching noise every time you have to dial up. And you could never stay on for too long, or if somebody picked up the phone. Not during the day.
It would cut it off.
Yeah, it would cut off everybody.
How about those CD-ROMs that got mailed to your your house?
300 trial. 30-day trial, 300 hours,
Lord.
600
The
hours.
most annoying part was like that you couldn't even try to go down and sneak turn the thing on.
No, because they would make that stupid noise.
Loud.
Yeah.
It sounded like a spaceship was landing.
For real. So for anyone, we will find the sound and like post it for people that don't know what we're talking about. So, okay, again, it wasn't official, but I just felt like, especially for us, that was our first foray into online dating. Yeah. Next up was eHarmony. That launched in 2000. And again, I think eHarmony was the one with the old man in the commercial.
Yeah.
Or was that Match?
I can help you match up with me.
We've been doing this for 30 years. You a lie. No, you weren't. But there was
one
eHarmony.
of them, because they've always been neck and neck, like eHarmony and
Yeah.
Match.
I didn't realize like eHarmony came out so much later than Match. I thought they were out at the exact same time.
I actually thought eHarmony came out first, then Match, and then all the other platforms started coming out.
Yeah, man.
But maybe, I was wrong, so.
And then I think the next one up was OkCupid. That came out in the 2000s.
Hey.
And what we know and love today. That was like, oh man, the disruptor of disruptors for online dating. Tinder.
It's a game changer.
We're officially in the AT era after Tinder.
So that came out in 2012.
That's like a glorified Hot or Not. Like if you ever seen Hot or
It was
Not,
on steroids.
It's just
Word.
Hot or Not on steroids.
I feel like that's exactly what it
really
came
what
from.
it is. Yeah.
Like they took stuff that was on MySpace. Don't judge us. Yes. They took that feature and was just like, yo, let's just
Swipe
bring
left
it
if you
into
don't
this
like,
century.
swipe right if you do.
It's like just swipe.
But I think so. That's just a quick history of the apps
We old.
and the sites, and just to see how far back it really goes. And I guess we just wanted to talk about how it's changed the game for dating. Like the last time you dated was before, or the last time you met somebody in person was before these apps. Now you have a whole approach. Like you have a strategy going into dating. Post
Absolutely, Maddie. I mean,
a marketing strategy.
We have to be strategic.
She's just like,
I have my elevator
Don't waste my
pitch.
time.
we can only go back and forth for 35 minutes. After that, we are either talking on the phone.
I try. I have my parameters, but I agree. You have to be strategic, even in your dating life.
I feel you.
You have to. I think.
have to.
I mean, and that's why this.
Nobody
episode
got
is
time
here,
for
too.
anything anymore.
No.
No. I mean, there's more stuff that always takes precedence over dating now, especially. I mean, like, why make dating like the only thing in your life to worry about? Like,
it should be the fun part in your life.
Yeah.
And I do feel like because society has shifted our focus on dating as a whole and marriage, whereas pre any of these, it was like marriage was the thing that you were aiming for. Now, and honestly, I feel like because it's so easy and it's so convenient, then what's the point? We're not so focused on it. And because we got jobs and we got bills to pay, and Sally Mae don't play that, so I don't got time to be messing around with you.
And you can't be using dating to pay off Sally Mae, although some women try. But.
What? Oh, you talking about
sugar daddies.
Sugar daddy, sugar
Hello,
mama,
sir.
whatever you want to talk about.
My name is Maddie, and I have $175,000 student loan debt. How are you?
Do you want to pay for my debt?
I'd be like, I'm broke. So,
And he's like, what you gonna do for this? Oh, well, if you gonna pay this, everything.
You know what's so funny? You know what's so funny now in the dating apps, or I'm only like in one dating app, but I've noticed that it's usually the person's first name, or maybe it's their made up name, age, and then it says CEO of some company or entrepreneur or something. But you really see a lot of those entrepreneur titles. Like people don't really put the real title or
entrepreneur. What?
They just
They
don't.
really do.
Or they don't put lawyer or doctor because then they're going to get an influx of requests.
CEO of custodial services.
They could be like, I don't want.
That's
So that's a very good point, actually. But I think that kind of is one of the things that really inspired us to do this episode, because we were just thinking, how does it change how people act now, right? I could be whoever I want to be on an app.
Yeah.
All I have to do is link it to a Facebook profile. It doesn't even have to be my real Facebook
It could be your
profile.
fake Facebook profile.
Exactly.
And we've done
where
a
I
lot
don't
of
tell you
episodes on
that I
that.
have a wife and 3 kids.
Yep.
Like,
Catfish status.
for reals.
You
Were
could
about
be
to say
your
something,
alter
Lena?
ego.
Oh.
Yeah, alter ego.
For real, I could be whoever I want to be, and it's amazing. But at the same time, I think it messes with our ability to actually form any kind of real relationship for the people that are looking for that.
right.
So I guess I want to hear your takes on how online dating has affected your view, or societal.
So I think, from a personal standpoint, and I think what's interesting about this topic is that it's no longer just a personal or experience, or it's not just an opinion, but I thought it was interesting that there are studies that have been done around the impact of online dating on how society is, like the direction that society is moving into. So like, as online dating was rising, there were these 2 economists who wanted to show what those effects were and really look at the data of like how relationships turning into marriage and how those dynamics were changing.
Okay.
And so I thought it was really cool that they talked about that now there's like such a large percentage of marriages that are starting online. And that was interesting to me because I actually, when I think about Tinder specifically, I don't think of that as an app to actually meet a lifetime partner.
No, not at all.
Although we have met some people that have like
Exactly. And so that's where I think that stat is coming from, is like these relationships, like real relationships, not just hooking up, are actually morphing into like longer term marriages than like, even if you compare that to somebody that's met in real life, what the study says is that those people that meet online are actually staying together longer than the people that met in real life.
Wow.
So like that to me just
That's crazy.
That is an interesting statistic.
Wow.
It's very interesting. And so it completely flipped things on my head about how I thought about some of these apps, because kind of how when we were doing like the blast into the past around how all of these like online platforms started, and especially like chatting on AIM or finding people online in ASL and sort of like chatting it up. Like even back then was like people would like look at you and say like, oh, like that's unsafe. Like, why are you speaking to a stranger online?
Yep.
And so now it's like, it's funny how that's now become like, in a way with Tinder, it's like, oh, well, that's insane. Why would you go and try to meet someone that you actually want to have a meaningful relationship with on a hookup app?
I mean, same
Right.
reason why we take Ubers. You're not supposed to get in a car with strangers.
Shut up.
But it just changes the conversation. And so that what this like article kind of showed me, and sort of this study, is that it's really morphed, I think, the perception of how people think about forming relationships. But in a way, because regardless of whether we're talking about this day and age in 2018, or if we were talking about like early 2000s and meeting people online and chatting with people on AIM, there was always this perception of either, this person that I talked to online, I have to be safe because they might not be like a real person. I could get catfish. Even though catfish back then wasn't an actual word.
No.
Yeah.
And then
You just got played.
You got paid.
Yeah.
And now it's like more around the sense of like, okay, well, do I really want to waste my time investing it in somebody that I may not really like and want to form a relationship with.
Yeah.
So like, as you think about that, it's such an individualistic thing that it impacts like how the choices that you're going to make when you're dating. So I find that super interesting because somehow, even though you have like all of these diversity of like thought around online dating and attitudes around online dating, you're still having people that are meeting and making meaningful connections. So I thought it was interesting how like that has at least evolved from going into like, hey, I want to like meet people or I want to physically meet someone and then take dating from there, and sort of like either trusting your interactions with new people or trusting like the circles that were bringing you together. Whereas like now people are just like, well, I don't care. I just want to meet somebody that shares like either similar interest or whatever they find on on their profile that's interesting to you. And so it's like the element of connection is a little bit different, but somehow it just seems that the online piece, according to this study at least, I'm sure there's like other opinions out there, is slightly more effective in building connections. And it's actually the contrary of what I would have initially thought.
So just to take that, I guess, one step further, it's how we think about which apps or sites mean you're serious. Like if I tell somebody I'm on Tinder, they're automatically going to think, okay, I'm just trying to hook up. But if I'm like,
there's different perceptions.
Yeah, about the different sites. So it's like the more serious I am, maybe I'm on a paid site now.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's funny that you say that, Maddie. I think the caliber or where your season is determines, I guess, the type of app or apps you find that element of connection. I'll be honest with you. As I mentioned in my story, like I haven't dated in over like 10 years. So for me, when I went out and asked my friends, like, hey, which app do you think, or should I even consider it an app? And they were like, absolutely. I mean, that's just the new era. You know, people meet and they find meaningful interactions in these apps. Sophia, I recommend Bumble because there's more professionals in this app. They seem to really care about building long-term relationships, even if it's just a friendship that evolves into a relationship. So that's why, I mean, in fact, again, with the strategic approach, I did a comparison, like analysis, like,
Did you have
Tinder,
like a whole
mobile
chart?
app. What was the other one? Coffee Meets Bagel, I think it's
Yeah.
called.
Yeah.
Got a whole Venn diagram.
So there's Tinder, Bumble, Coffee Meets Bagel. What are the other ones? I can't really think of, but
Plenty of Fish.
Plenty of Fish.
Okay, Cupid.
Okay, Cupid. And then another layer is, do you opt for the free option?
Word.
Or do you pay the whatever
The premium
it is for you to get more features and functionality and to build on that connection?
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of layers even to the virtual online dating world.
I do find that super interesting. Like, because 10, 15 years ago, if you said, oh, I met somebody online, it would be like, you're a loser.
Wow.
Right.
Now it's like, yeah, I met someone online. It's just like, okay.
Okay.
What app did you
No,
use?
it's funny because there's a few girlfriends that are like, well, they take so much pride in saying, well, we met before online dating became a thing. And we're really proud of that. I'm like, well, that's great.
That's cool.
Great. But
Good
there
for
are
you
fuckboys
that-
out there
That your relationship
in
is
real life
thriving
too.
and striving. Yeah. So then you have, your other people that just take so much pride in knowing that, they met without any gadget or online app.
Yeah, and I wonder how much of that is actually personal preference or more jumping on the bandwagon that something is like either not safe or like Maddie, to your point, like, oh, only losers would meet online, because I feel like I've always gone back and forth. So I did do the whole ASL on like whatever was like like the different sites that were out there on top of AIM. I don't even remember what these sites were, but I would go into these chat rooms like Yahoo
What was
Chat.
it? Black Planet?
Black Planet and Mi
something
Gente.
like-
Mi Gente, yes, those
Gente.
like. So I would do those,
Oh, these are classics.
and so like a part of it was fun to just like talk to someone that you
Black
didn't
Planet
know,
still exists, actually.
and so I was like, okay, well, this is kind of cool. But then it was like, once you get into that transition point of like, hey, it's no longer just online now,
Wow,
and you're
Black
actually
Planet still
meeting the person, Wait, what? What did you guys find?
The
Black Planet still exists.
It still exists.
It does still exist.
So now I got to see if Mi Gente is still
Come
exists.
into my planet soul. Remember that song? Come into
All right, Sophia.
Sophie's getting excited here.
We just found you
Wow,
another site.
and Mi Gente still exists too.
Mi gente?
Shut
No,
up.
That's crazy. That looks archaic as fuck, though.
Yeah. All right. Sorry to interrupt.
Anyway,
you.
going back-
We digress.
Yeah.
Going back to what I was saying, what I think is still holds true is that sort of like that transition from like, okay, I've met you online. I think I kind of like you and we're cool and I want to chill. And then when you actually meet them in person, sometimes it's just still awkward as fuck. And you're just like,
Dude.
Oh, I could totally speak to that.
Oh,
yes.
Since you're like the most actively dating right now, I feel like you have to be the voice for the people.
No, I will. I'll share my experience for the past 2 months that I've been in this journey, as I want to call it. Absolutely. Like I mentioned, when I met my first Bumble guy, right? We were.
Can we call him your first B?
Yeah.
Because I'm
B.
lame and I just feel like that
First
would be
B.
cute.
Yeah, first B.
Bumble, her B.
First B.
Ha ha ha.
I like
All right,
it.
whatever.
So, you know,
Oh.
so he was
Sophie like that.
I liked it. My first B.
I'm about to make this a thing. Watch.
No
Yep.
pollinating.
Took him out of his hive.
Ew, get him.
trying to milk that honey.
Yep.
Oh, wait, maybe that's
And then we
too
were
early.
She said no drinks on the first day.
cross pollinating maybe on the 5th encounter.
Oh my
So your
goodness.
weird mind is that.
Yo, our listeners like, what is wrong with them? Because we are loving
I
this.
just have to
Let
keep taking
Sophia finish
honey
her
that-
Yo, we're gonna go watch a B movie after this.
All these buzz, everything's buzzing. No. So yeah, my first encounter was it was awkward, as Lena D had mentioned. It's that transitional. You go from texting or calling each other, right? So this okay. Let me rewind back a little bit. So with this app, you know, they have an interface where you can actually communicate with the person, right?
All right.
You, the girl or the guy, can take it to the next level. Say, hey, look, you know, I'm not really into the Bumble app. Would you mind sharing either your, you know, your number or your email so that we can take it, you know, we can just take it further. I usually don't do that. It's, you know, for the most part of my experience, it's been the guy who's taken the conversation to a different
like
Platform.
or
platform. I like it.
texting.
Different platform.
Yeah.
So when that takes place, when that took place, you know, the second thing I asked was like, hey, now that we're in a different platform, would you be open to calling? Can we speak? Or if you have an iPhone, can we FaceTime?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have an iPhone, can we WhatsApp? Or do you have Skype? Yes, I said Skype. I still use Skype.
I use it for work.
Yeah.
It's still a thing.
It's still a thing. So at that moment when we're either, you know, hearing each other's voices or we see each other through through FaceTime, I don't know. It's for some reason, like it's immediate for me. I'm like, okay, I think this would be nice for me to meet the person, you know, face to face. Or immediately when the guy is just chatting it up and he's like, yeah, you know, I have to go to California to meet my daughter. Daughter? Stop. I'm like, that's where I, you know, I tell them, I was like, look, you know, I'm
You should have led
you're-
with that.
I'm sure you're an amazing father, and I'm sure you could have, you know, put that in your profile, just to make it easy, so we don't have this awkward conversation here. But no, it's taking it to the different platform is a huge step. Meeting in person is even bigger, you know. And
Right.
I've been in that situation where I'm like walking, and you're like this idiot trying to wave or look throughout the whole restaurant to see who's that person.
And pray he still looks exactly
And then
the
pray
same.
that he still looks exactly the same in the pictures. And so far, I've had no luck. I
Wait,
no
with-
luck. Wait.
with them
back
looking
up.
like they look in the picture, or you have to define.
Okay.
There could be so many things right now.
no.
Yeah,
Okay,
like
so what?
there's a lot to unpack.
We
here.
all just got so scared. What do you mean?
No. I mean, well, what I meant to say is like I've been lucky that a lot of the encounters that I've had, I call them encounters.
encounters.
I love
Encounters of the third kind.
I love this.
Damn, of the,
The
second
aliens.
kind. Like what the?
No, I mean they've all looked like their pictures.
Oh, I
okay.
thought you were gonna say you had no luck, but they all look mad different.
Man, Sophia, you
I
can't
know.
do that to me.
I know,
man.
sorry.
But
What
even
kind of-
Angles will do that to you
stuff
on
is that?
FaceTime, where he'll hold the phone like down here, And then you meet him, it's just like, sir, I can see your whole face now. This is not okay.
I will tell you this.
guys are terrible.
It's been very taxing on me, physically, emotionally, like just mentally, spiritually. It's like I feel like it's one interview after another.
Interview.
And then I try,
that is
and
exhausting.
then I also try to keep it like a business. You know, Mondays, Wednesday, Fridays could be Bumble days, right? I'm not going to go out to dinner or on an outing every day of the week. So I try to, you know, again, be strategic.
Mhm.
I also try to avoid first encounters with alcohol because, you know, you become impaired, you know, and you just can't think straight.
Inhibitions are down.
Yeah, you're inhibited. So
Bees
Yup.
acting all crazy
yeah, bees are
Buzzing
all
all
crazy. Too much honey.
in your face.
So yeah, I mean, I think that for as Lena D had mentioned, it's an individual approach. You have to set your boundaries online and also offline. And then once you blur those lines, that's where the magic happens when you start blurring the online offline. So
I think so. I agree. I know I say I prefer to meet someone in person, and it's for that reason exactly, where I just feel like it's so exhausting to do it online because there's so many people and you have so many options. And if you are a serial swiper like I am, then you have all these matches and then you're like trying to juggle all these conversations. And it's like I end up feeling like I'm not even giving this one conversation very much attention. Like you could actually be a really nice guy, but because I just had like 17 matches, I'm just like, hey, hi. Okay, he didn't respond. Delete. He didn't respond. Unmatch. Oh, he responded 3 days ago. Shit. Dropped the ball there. Like,
Oh man, that's a lot to keep up
that's a
with.
lot.
it just becomes exhausting. And I'm just like, I don't feel like doing this anymore. But then similarly, I like to take it offline as quickly as possible. So, but I'm like, I'll give it a week or so. I'm just like, we can text, we can move up from texting on the app to like talking on the phone, especially based on how the conversation goes. Like if we can hold actual conversation, then I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to like send out a text while you're doing something else. Like I want your attention, I'll give you mine. And then we try to meet in person.
Okay.
So I also like
I guess
that
you could
hybrid
also gauge
approach.
that. You could also gauge that when, you know, someone says, "Hey," period.
Word. Those are the
Hola,
ones that get
period.
unmatched real quick.
Oh yeah. And then you have your one guy who writes you a thesis
Son.
and he's eloquent and he uses big words and I'm like,
You
okay.
copied and pasted this into every text box, didn't you?
That could be
He has a can.
he already
has
has
a
a boiler-
template.
Well, yeah, a template.
Like, no. But Lena D, Wesley, you've been mad quiet. We've been doing most of the talking. Like,
Yeah, what's up, Wes?
what's
Yeah,
your
get in this
preference?
conversation.
What's my preference for
Yeah,
what?
meeting
Dímelo.
in person or
Man, I'd
on an app.
rather meet on an app.
For real?
Yeah. Here's a reason why.
Huh.
Number one, I get nervous. Like
In person?
In person. Like if I'm just meeting you for the first time, I can't gauge. We don't have that rapport yet.
He's our
You know, I don't have
Yeah.
I don't know your interests, and then me asking awkward questions like I'm pretty awkward as it is now.
Hella
Just like,
awkward.
Hi. So, are you interested in any technology? Like,
No.
I sound like a fucking salesman.
No.
Right? And yeah, exactly. Do you see what I'm saying?
Stupid.
Yeah. At
You're
least-
the dude that we're like, no. And then we go and talk to each other like, this idiot just asked me if I have Android. Dummy.
But like it's for me, the app is kind of that way in, and then when we meet, we have a little bit of rapport. So then I can let my personality kind of shine through, because now it's not just me texting you texting me. Now I can crack jokes here and there and all that good stuff. So and then you see my facial reactions, and then I can gauge your interest, because a lot of times what the apps don't do, you can kind of fill in the blanks when you meet the person. So like you can gauge my personality, and I can gauge your personality, see if you're interested in me, all that good stuff.
Or if you just out here trying to get a free meal.
Or that too, but
It's saying like you could tell better in person. Where
Right.
It's just like, oh, she seems so interested on the app.
And
now she has nothing to say.
And like Sophia, like I like to keep things low key on the first date. It would be just like coffee. Like
Right.
I'll do like a drink, but I won't go crazy. Like I'll have one drink or two drinks, but I'm not gonna go super crazy or anything like that.
We're
So
not
would
doing
you pick
happy
up-
hour.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do a happy hour. Hell no.
Would you pick up your bumblebee on the first encounter?
Well, we're in New York City, but
I mean, yeah.
I mean, that's true. You're right. There's the
mean-
bumblebee from another state.
it depends.
Would you send her an Uber? That's the New York version.
That's the New York version, right?
Would I
You
send
send
her-
Or tell her
Uber?
like what train to get on.
Yeah, I would do that.
I'll buy you a Metro card.
I'll get you a Metro card. I'll probably take her home and then I go home myself.
Like you like go to
at the
on
end, I
some-
feel like
Yeah.
it's more fluid. I don't know. I find
It's
it
more
kind of
gentlemanly.
Weird. Like,
Yeah.
I take it at least halfway. You know, if it's like
I'm cool
out of
with
the
you
way,
just walking me to the train.
yeah, I would
yeah.
walk you. I would do.
Yeah, that's
But
something like
would I hook up on the first date? I don't. I'm 50-50
If
on
you're
that.
serious, if you're trying to be serious.
If I'm trying to
if
be
you're trying to be
serious,
serious, I would wait.
I'm still 50-50 on that.
Okay.
Because
I
you
dig
know, I'm not getting to the history, so let's
That's
just say
a whole
I'm
nother
50-50.
episode.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm 50-50 on it. Let's just leave it at that.
unless I will say that sometimes when you don't have a good date, you don't want that person walking you to the train at all.
And usually they ask though. It's just like, oh, do you want to? Unless we're already going in the same direction.
Yeah.
But I feel like most guys would be like, hey,
Even if the date wasn't.
what train are you
Pleasant.
catching?
I think
Yeah.
I still, I've had some dates that go.
I think that's a good way to cut it off.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, what train are you catching? I'm like, oh, I'm catching the A train uptown. Be like, I thought you lived in Brooklyn. Shut up. Mind your business. Like, that's my getaway. Like, yeah, I gotta go.
No,
bye.
I would prefer. I'm with Lena D. I'd be like, it was a great evening. Good night.
Yeah, I
I'll
don't want
walk
you like.
myself
I
to the
think like
subway.
if I were interested enough, like I would be the one initiating. Like, hey, like, or if I felt like it went well enough, I would prefer to have that. I had a date once where it was awkward like that, where she was like, "Oh, which train are you taking? Can I walk you there?" And I was like, "Bitch, I don't want you in my face anymore."
Yo, what?
This is like.
But see, she asked though, and you were like, no, thank you.
And I was like, no.
Goodbye.
And she was like, "Oh, well, I'm going in that direction though," and I'm like,
See, that's why you got to go uptown. I'm trying to put y'all on game.
What?
See, Maddie knows.
I gotta go uptown.
No. I had told her that I was going in one direction, and then she changed her direction to come where I was going, even though I had said no already.
Creep monster.
Yeah.
That's the kind of bee you don't want.
That's yeah.
You're trying to do
give,
That's your
give it back. Go back to your hive.
one with like.
Go back.
Okay, so I think that was all of us, right?
Yeah.
Pros.
Yeah, I think I talked. Yeah, let's talk.
Are there pros? Because I feel like we're kind of mixed. Like, what are the pros of trying to meet in person?
You don't get catfished. I know that sounds really messed up, but
I mean,
you know
you're right.
for a fact what you got.
And I
Except
mean,
if it's
like, start to finish. I don't mean like we started on the app and now we're meeting in person. I mean, like, start to finish. What are the pros of dating somebody that you met in real life?
I mean, it depends. Like, if it's like a blind date that somebody else trying to hook you up with and they already showed you their picture.
Do people still do that? Y'all should set
know.
me up on a. No, never mind.
Yeah, actually,
I've been set up on blind dates,
you said on a blind
What did you
date?
think?
and they weren't. It wasn't.
You know who your true friends are now?
That's messed up.
You don't love me.
You know who your true friends are.
Yeah. I was set up on not a blind date because actually this friend was with us. It was
Oh,
more
like a blind double.
the blind double. Yeah,
Oh,
is
that's
that what
not-
it's called? Because
yeah.
that's exactly what it was. We were all at a bar. I was introduced like, hey, this is so and so. She stayed with her guy. I was trying to just start a conversation with the guy that I was introduced, and it was I approached him more on a friendly note. I kind of friend zoned him within like 2 minutes. Of
Right out the
meeting him.
gate.
Wait, well, why? Wait,
Right out the
was he facially not like there?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I know my type, and I just knew off the bat that it
Was he
wasn't.
facially
was he
not
like-
there?
Was he facially
was he-
challenged?
Was he fat like me? Like, I mean,
He was
like,
facially
yeah.
not there.
Like, yeah, damn.
His face, it just wasn't
was
there.
his face just
His face was there.
it- I mean, his face
His
existed.
face didn't do it for
but,
you.
But,
Yeah,
you know,
no,
it
he
was
wasn't
just...
engaging.
Oh,
You know.
okay.
Oh, so he was Wesley when
was
Wesley meets people.
Yeah, I'm awkward.
Do you like technology?
I'm so scared.
I'm gonna stop playing you because apparently it's getting people all messed up in the game. Right here. I apologize.
You never know. Those awkward guys are real nice, you know. But they ain't got
can
game like
be.
that. See, like they don't got game. That's the thing.
And maybe it's because I'm a dork also that I enjoy trying to engage with those dorky guys. And it just lets my nerdiness come out. Like, I can't talk to someone that has all the New York swag in the world and be like, yeah, I like anime. And be like, the fuck is anime?
That's what I wanted to talk
Never
about.
mind.
The
What?
swag.
That New York swag?
Let me tell you about the New York
Here we
swag.
go.
Oh, you don't gotta tell me
missed
about
it,
the New York
ladies
swag.
and gentlemen.
I'm about to get on my
that
iPad.
shit exists, man. The New York swag is something else.
I'm about to get on
Gentlemen,
my
we see
iPad.
So Sophie here I was born and bred in New York, right?
Mm.
But I live now out of state. Yes, it's true, guys.
You miss
And
her?
ladies, I miss it because now that I'm dating in a different state, and the men are just different.
Yeah,
It's a different breed. It's a different breed.
Okay, that's not the New York swag we're talking about.
And,
You don't got it.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The assholeness and swag, it's attractive. It's attractive.
Gentlemen, you have heard it here first.
You've heard
we
it.
like
You've had-
that shit.
We like you to treat us like shit. No, I'm just
Whoa,
kidding.
no, not quite.
it.
Not quite.
That's
All right,
not what I meant.
Sophie,
That's
you
not
go
what
back to your hive.
No, what I meant. Okay, no.
That's not what we meant. Because you know they're going to stop it right there and be like, all right, what she said. No.
What
Keep-
I meant to
keep
say,
listening.
men, gentlemen, bumblebees, men, is we also like the chase. We like to chase other bumblebees too.
Buzz, motherfucker.
Don't tell us within your first encounter that you think I'm going to be like
You're in
the wife of your
love.
dreams.
Oh, no, that's too much.
And that
Yeah.
you're going to be home and you're going to have
Oh
my 10
God,
kids.
you're
I'm
gonna
like,
have, 15
do you know who
of
the
my
fuck
babies?
you're talking to? Like, I am
That's not
not
cute.
from Texas, okay?
So I really do need, I'm so glad you said that because guys act like it's just women that do that. There have been so many men that are just like, oh, so you cook great. So that means you're going to cook me dinner every single night.
Maddie,
It's like,
No,
uh-huh.
no, it's not. It's not what that
that's
means.
not how it goes.
Oh, so you want to have kids too? I do. How many? I don't know. 2 and a possible. Oh, I was thinking like 4. That's nice for you. What you telling me this for?
And you're carrying the kid for 9 months, right?
like,
I'm glad I'm a class act. You know, I don't take no shit.
okay.
But I'm a nice guy.
You hear this and you're just like, yo, I'm actually a really good catch.
I'm glad that you said all this stuff. It's reaffirmed to me that I'm a good person.
Okay.
I got limits, but I'm a good person.
Okay, so
Can we also
we
talk
got 2
about-
pros.
Can
Hold
we
on.
also talk? Go ahead, Maddie.
So we got, you can spot the swag. You can't spot swag on an app. So
No
you can
saying, no
spot the
saying, no
swag in
saying.
person. You can't get catfished in person.
No.
And
Somebody else does,
so what
has to have a pro.
what I like about meeting in real life is that the chemistry is real. Like it's chemistry based on either like how I see your mannerisms or
Your body
like how you
language.
engage with me, whether it's like you can hold the door or you don't hold the door or you ask a question or you observe something that I do. And so I prefer all of that because I feel like it's a lot more engaging for me. Whereas like on an app, it's like, okay, well, you can take my banter. So I actually do test guys on the, so like that type of chemistry, I try to test it in an app by my banter. And I try to be like, well, I don't really try, but it's just easier to be super sarcastic and a bitch and not feel bad about it.
Word.
And so I just do that in the app. And so I gauge how they react to what I'm saying. And if they can take it, then I'm like, okay, maybe I'm interested in meeting you. But if they can't, I'm automatically just like,
Is that
nope.
how you gauge your
That's how I try to gauge like whether or not
chemistry?
they can handle my personality. And then if there could be chemistry, because I feel that if you can't handle my personality, then there's no chemistry.
Word.
And so I like that feeling more in person than I do when I'm like texting someone back and forth.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that that's kind of like one of the benefits in real life is like, okay, well, so at this point it's going to be more of like, are there other things that you can't control, or are there other things that are part of this person's life that are deal breakers for you? And then that way it's like, it's just not going to happen. And like with online dating, I feel like you have to wait until you're physically meeting each other to see if that chemistry is real, because the chemistry via text could just be him asking one of his buddies, like, hey, how do I respond to this?
Right.
And then you could be dating,
That's
like,
a good
in your
point.
head, you could be dating his buddy that's giving him all the good material, and it's not really him that's coming up with it.
Shout out to all my homegirls who I am that friend for them. And I apologize to all the dudes that meet her in real life and are just like, this ain't the same.
This ain't the same,
Because
girl.
I have some friends where it's just like, I don't know what to say. Then, girl, give me the phone. And the conversation, like, I'll get the conversation started. I'm just like, good luck when you meet him for real.
Exactly.
Because
I mean, you could tell.
Because when the conversation's witty, right?
Right.
And you
Yeah.
get sarcastic, like it's a turn on for a lot of people. But then you're meeting in real life and you're like,
it's a dud.
I am so glad that y'all have reaffirmed everything that I have done. This is like music to my ears right now.
I feel like men do it more than women, though.
Man, this is music. I be sarcastic as fuck. And that's one of the endearing things about my personality.
That's
I love
why.
being sarcastic.
He's like, he could handle everything I threw at him.
Man, thank you. I would like to
You're
say
welcome.
thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
And I think the other thing too that I like about just my preference of meeting in real life versus just online dating is that there's some sort of like pre-established security net, so to speak.
How so, though? You're meeting this person for the first time.
Exactly, but it's you're either meeting the person because you're somewhere where you're doing something that you enjoy, right? So like if you're meeting them
So
out
a
in the
like-minded
wild,
person.
right?
In the room.
So it's a like-minded person, or like let's say you meet them at
The gym.
at the gym, or
Okay.
at a book club, or
So
something.
you're in a safe place
you have common
or in common interest.
yeah. Or if a friend introduces them to you, that
Mm-hmm.
means that they're part of their circle, and so you're a part of their circle. So you're kind of like, okay, well,
So that's what you
if
mean.
you'll
Okay.
kind of vouch for them, okay, they're
Yeah.
not completely psycho.
Completely.
Completely.
They
I
could
mean,
be tied
Keyword.
psycho, but not completely psycho. And then the other one too that I think is really important is that you, as an individual, and I think that online dating takes this out of the equation. You as an individual meeting someone is responsible for whether or not there's like trust, right? So like you either trust your instinct or you don't. And so there's certain things that I feel like in person it's easier to like rely on your instinct. And so your instinct is also a security net. But when you're talking to someone via an app, it's harder to have an instinct without overthinking too many things.
Word.
And so I think in person, all of that stuff just meshes better.
I fully agree with you on that.
Yeah. You have good points.
Makes
Lindsay.
sense.
Yeah,
You do.
definitely agree. And I think those pretty much lead right into some of the cons,
The cons.
of meeting in real life. My biggest one is when all of those things happen and it's just like, there's no way out. So I have just wasted a night of my life. You know, if it's an app and we're texting back and forth or we're on the phone, it's just like, I hear the dead silence. I see the lag in the response time. Like you can just feel like there's no chemistry here. But if I'm meeting you in real life and let's say I met you at a networking event and it was just like, oh my God, this guy's great. And then we go out on like an actual date and like, who are you? Because the guy that I met 2 nights ago was amazing. It's just like, now I just wasted a good outfit. I took all this time to do my hair, like, and it's just a waste. And I can't get that time back that I could have, like, I could have weeded you out if it was on an app.
Right.
So I think that's my biggest con for it. But I personally feel like the pros outweigh the cons. Because that energy, it says a lot. Where I can like just get past all of that
Sparks.
BS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sparks and the chemistry say it all.
So
I'm a
just
big
like,
energy person too.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I agree.
it's hard to get that when you're not actually interacting
Face to
with the
face, yeah.
person.
And then there can be some people where it's just like via text, they're so dry, but in person, it's just like they come
Yeah,
alive.
That's so true.
And if it's on an app, like I would have totally like dismissed you because it's just like, yo, the conversation's so dry right now.
You meet them in
Sweat.
person and they're engaging and they're
And it's
so
like-
full of life.
Word. It's like, you are passionate about something. This is dope. Oh my gosh, you like anime too? Cool. Like, be just mad corny stuff like that. Oh, you like my corny humor? Okay, I could dig
you're
that.
actually laughing. It's not just
Word.
an LOL.
You're actually human.
Right, exactly. So it's just like, I think that's always my fear in online dating, because I know I'm not always, well, no, I'm awesome, but I know some people that aren't engaging like via text. I know like people that I know in real life, my friends, where it's just like, so how was your day? Good. How was yours? Okay.
Oh yeah,
Just call me.
Those
Just call me.
one-liners.
Yeah. So it's like, let's just get on the phone because I'm tired of this. And these are people that I'm just cool with. So it's like, how many guys have I dismissed because they're like that also?
Yeah.
So that's my fear, and that's what I see as a con of like
Yeah.
dealing with that. We're just like, oh, poor guy.
Yeah, con for me is just, I said this before, but probably like being nervous. There's, like I said, that nervous factor.
Yeah.
Like when you first meet somebody, you're like, I don't know what to say. I'm not familiar with her. I don't know what to do. Oh my God. I'm like, you freaking out and you don't know.
That's what you need to like get the swagger to take over.
Yeah.
For real. Remember, well, it's because he grew up in Long Island. If you grew up in Brooklyn, you wouldn't have this problem.
Oh.
Shots fired. Boop, boop.
Blah,
All right.
blah, blah, blah.
Throw my iPad.
No.
Don't talk about Long Island. We
okay.
love Long Island.
Yeah.
I mean, I lived there for what, 2 years?
Oh, that does not count.
Oh, but then college.
And you went to school there.
Yeah,
Oh, did you?
for another
Okay.
2 years.
All right.
So Brooklyn, whatever. But I think that's a good point, Wesley, and it ties into Lena D's, where for our listeners who are trying or do prefer to meet someone online, not online, in real life, it's how do they do that? And being in an atmosphere and in a space that you're comfortable and you're confident takes away those nerves like immediately.
Yeah,
so we did come up with a few examples and ideas for you guys on how to meet somebody in real life. If you're over the apps, if you're tired of this shit, if you want to delete them, if none of the above have
those
worked
tips.
for you. So the first one we came up with is meetups. So meetup.com is still a thing, and it's just like an event for like-minded people around whatever the event is.
And you can search on like your interests and stuff too.
Yeah.
So, like you can go to
I
events.
had no idea that still existed, the meetups.
Yeah.
They do.
Oh, yeah,
Between that
they're
and
all
like, even
over.
if you're not on Meetup,
Okay.
Eventbrite,
That's
like
a
they
good
they host
one.
events, and you could just do a search for whatever your interest is.
I will make note of that.
See, girl, we out here, we
Eventbrite.
looking out for you.
Got some extra tips on that one. And I think what's cool about that, and I just want to point it out, especially for people that get nervous or like don't like going to events alone.
Solo,
That's
yeah.
another one.
Yeah.
Not going alone.
It's
Bring a
more
friend.
around the fact that if it's something that's interesting to you, you really should be comfortable just being there on your own.
Yeah.
Because it's about your self growth, and so it's kind of like tying
Personal
in
development.
personal development and like yourself with the possibility that you might meet someone,
Investing in yourself.
but not
First.
tying it 100% to just meeting somebody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Basically, she said to you, all you fellas who get nervous, just I'm going to chuck you in the deep end. You got to learn how to swim.
But in the deep end that you're all, when you have floaties on and you have all the stuff, like okay, but if you're going to a meetup for something that you're passionate about,
like that,
you're not going to be
though.
as nervous, you know?
Yeah.
So, and one thing that attracts men and women is passion.
And confidence.
When you see somebody that's passionate about something or confident about what they're doing or talking about, you're immediately
Maddie.
drawn to them, and you're just like, tell me more.
And then honestly, like that's your
Eyelashes fluttering.
Absolutely.
that's your entire conversation topic too. You don't even have to think about anything else to talk about. You just
Yep.
talk about that thing that you're there for the event.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And what brought you there? Like, how are you involved
Or like
with
stuff
this?
that you know,
Yeah.
like especially like if it's like something more like anime or like a Comic-Con or something like
Cool.
that. Like it's like you follow your own stuff.
I'm sure you go to the Comic-Con every year, right?
I actually never been.
We're
I
going
know.
this
I
year
think
again.
you guys have been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been there.
You know what usually happens? People go and then they tell me after the fact. Or because I'm not so open about being into anime, people just assume that I'm not.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, but I am. I am a nerd. Come on, guys.
So what other tips, Maddie? 'Cause
so-
this is definitely going to probably be applicable to me.
Another one is I say trivia nights or game nights at a local bar.
There you go.
So if you're into
right.
that,
Scramble.
Yeah,
Or
like Scrabble.
Scramble.
scramble eggs. I'm like, scramble.
Scramble eggs.
But a lot of like local bars will have game nights, trivia nights, and stuff like that for their locals. So if you're in an area that has some good bars and a good single scenes, then that's something to check out. And that's something easy to bring a friend, where it's just like, hey, I need a buffer. But we about to kill it at these trivia. Let's go. You know? And also, if you watch Grey's Anatomy, that's how Arizona got her boo thing. So clearly it works.
Yeah,
yes, I just quoted
facts.
Grey's Anatomy. Another one is to host dinner parties. If you have the space, host dinner parties. What I like to do is to have a rule where you have to bring somebody that I don't know. So I'll invite you, and you can bring one person, but it has to be someone I don't know that you think that I'll like. Don't bring some random person.
Do they
It's
have
just
to
like-
be single?
preferably?
Okay.
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
was
And
trying
if they're not, I mean, not it doesn't have to be somebody for me, because
okay.
you're inviting other people, but it's just like a good way to expand your circle.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, if I'm always inviting the same people over every time, we're always hanging out with the same people, you're never going to meet somebody new.
No.
But you can meet some dope ass people.
And then the friends of their friends. So like
Exactly.
expanding your circle.
Again, as you were saying, Lena D, that the circle is already vetted, right?
Yep.
And you're just like pretty much expanding that vetted circle.
Pretty
You bring other
much.
people.
See? We looking
I
out
like
for
that
you,
one.
too.
I like that one, Maddie.
So Maddie, when you hosting your next one?
Yeah, girl.
Try to bring
Girl,
some
when I
food.
get
Cooking.
furniture in my
When are
house.
you-
Because as of right now, I've told people, if you're coming over, you got to bring your own chair, because it's a struggle. I still have my apartment furniture.
Bring your chair,
in
your
my
picnic.
house. Yes, it's a
blanket.
potluck. You got to bring your own food for everyone. You have to bring alcohol, and you have to bring a chair.
Hey,
So
I
you're
do
just, you're just
alcohol.
hosting the venue.
You're basically
Exactly.
You're just asking for caterers. To come
The only
through.
thing, you should be happy I'm not charging you a cover. Like, I got a mortgage to pay. No, but that's a good one. And then some of the more standard ones, church, religious gatherings, you know, they have singles ministries and single
Bible
nights.
studies.
Heck yeah. Girl, let me tell you. Go to different churches, especially if you're like a member of one church. I know that's what we would do. It's like, hey, let's go to this church next week. It's like, yeah, because you saw the drummer from that church.
You saw him?
Yeah, we doing this. They be telling you it's the good church girls, and I'm confirming it is. Speed dating events, that's still a thing. Again, Eventbrite.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Meetup.
those there.
Yeah, I saw a lot. And then, so apparently now they've gotten so fancy with these speed dating events. You can, they have which like for a specific age group, from certain alumni networks. It's just like this speed dating event is for Ivy League
Only.
alumni. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Within this age group. And I'm just like,
The way to
rude.
filter, yeah.
But then they'll be like, okay, Ivy League or MBA or whatever your degree is. And I'm just like, oh, I can go now.
You're like, yes, I'm in.
Like, yeah. But, you know, just because they're trying to make it for like-minded people.
Right. No, and it's
Yeah.
hard sometimes.
There's
if
commonality
It's so
when-
open.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So for the speed dating events, this is more of like maybe a listener question. Is it like, what's your strategy when you get there? Do you go with somebody else that you know so that you don't feel completely alone, or do you make it a point to just go by yourself because otherwise you're not going to like leave your comfort zone?
I've done both.
And which one did you prefer? Or like
To
which-
go with someone, just because then we could exchange notes.
Okay.
Because, like, you spoke to this person also. It's just like, yeah, he seemed kind of weird, didn't he? Yeah, he was. Don't do that. Or it's just
away.
like, oh my gosh, yes. So, but then other cases where it's just like, if you're that person where it's like, you know that if you have somebody with you, you're gonna, I guess, be more in your shell. And there are some people, like, once they're by themselves, it's like, yo, I got to do this. All right, let's go. Like, I'm going to let my wonderfulness shine through. So I would say do both and see which one you prefer. Because sometimes it takes you just like getting out of that comfort zone. And I feel like it's a safer environment than like going to a bar by yourself.
Right.
It's just like, I'm just going to hang out at this bar. No, don't do that. Go this, but in a speed dating event, I feel like it's something where you can get away with going by yourself if you're comfortable. If not, go with a friend. Don't go with a whole group of people, guys and women. Like, nothing is more scary than to see a pack of men all looking around like, yeah, we gonna get that one. or for a
Heartbreak.
pack of women that's just like, ooh, girl, don't talk to him.
Yeah.
It's just like, but he was cute.
It's like I thought I liked it.
Word. It's just like, no. His feet
Judgment.
too big. It's like, so
The judgment.
for real.
The judgment.
And then alumni association events. If you were big on your campus, go to alumni events. I know like my alumni association will have like mixers, networking events every so often. I go to like one or two just to show face. Even if you don't meet someone, then it's just a good way to network. Yeah. And then to volunteer. Volunteer with an organization that you love, something that you're passionate about. That's
Your
it.
interest. Again.
Yeah.
I think
So-
the other one too that I would add on here is either like run club. I know that some of the gyms and fitness centers have like their own happy hours too. Like it's like you work out and then you stay after and like mingle, and so those are kind of cool. I know like if you can try to do like sometimes when you're pressed for time, I always say like think about how you can mesh together like your interests with like doing something social, so then that way you're not like making an excuse not to do it or feel like, oh shit, I wasted my time because I did this thing and I didn't meet anybody.
Right.
And I think the key, especially as we try to wrap it up, it's we can't complain about being single and not meeting someone in real life if we're not actually doing things to go out to
Have
meet
to be
people.
proactive.
Like, yeah,
Right.
exactly. Like, you can't sit at home or rush home after work or after your workout and be like, oh my God, I'm so sweaty, I gotta go. And then just sit at home and be like, why am I alone?
Crying.
What
Eating
do you
ice cream.
expect? He gonna
watching
break
TV.
into your house?
Oh, wow.
That's a good point.
Did you have any other things that maybe you've been doing as part of your new?
You know, I actually am going to. I appreciate these tidbits. Like, good points. Like, I would have never thought about checking out Meetup. Is it meetup.com, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. No, I don't at this point.
Okay.
In fact,
well,
I think
that's good. At least we were helpful to you
No,
since
exactly.
you're in
Very
that
helpful.
cycle right now.
Yeah, I am in that cycle. It's a different season, so I'm gonna check them out.
Just try like one new thing out
you know
every
what?
month.
Actually, I would. I haven't tried this yet, but I think the site still exists. It's called Couch Surfing for just like backpackers and travelers.
I think so.
It's more of a backpacking community where you crash in someone's couch, but it's more sophisticated now.
It's safer now.
It's safer too, as well. People are verified.
Yep, it's
But
still
that's
around.
It's still around. That's another way to meet. You know, if you want to meet outside, not only your circle, but outside the country, the world comes to you. So another way to meet people.
Facts. I like that.
That's a cool one.
That's cool.
And you can combine that with travel because
You can buy that with
Traveling
travel.
solo.
Like, what if
I've
you
done
meet-
that.
Yeah,
Love that.
for people that I love to travel too. So that's another way to do it.
awesome.
Cool.
So these are our tips, our ideas.
Yeah, I like that. Tip.
Let us know if we left something off that you have tried and it works for you. If you have advice for us or for Sophia as she is entering into 2018
Yes,
Hey.
please.
dating scene since 2008. Most of us don't even remember what we were doing back then.
A decade. Yeah, it's
I
been a
remember one
decade.
thing. Barack Obama became president.
You right. That was like the
Yes.
highlight
What
of
is
it.
Leslie?
Barack. That's when Barack got
Barack.
elected.
Yeah.
I went to the whatchamacallit,
Then
to the debate.
oh, the debate.
Yep. It was
Oh, yeah,
Bomb.
you did.
it was bomb.
You couldn't get me tickets. I was so mad.
I could barely get myself tickets. You know what security was like? Anyway. Anyway. So thanks for listening. Again, hit us up on any of our social media platforms. We definitely want to hear from you. Later, Gators.
Thank you for having me. I
Peace
appreciate
out.
it.
So great to have you.
Thanks.
Girl Scouts.